Samsung has new folding phones. From the Z Fold 6, the Flip 6, to new watches and smart rings, TechAsia is here to give you the lowdown. The most remarkable thing about these new folding phones is how little has changed between this generation and the last. The outside look has been squared off, and there is a more powerful processor on the inside, which is significant. This is alongside other quality of life improvements, from the hinge being better dust protection, so reaching IP48. But for the 6th generation of a folding phone product, commentators have noted that it's a little bit of an unexciting upgrade from last generation. That seems to track with the data. Samsung sold 58% of all folding phones last year, but this year it only sold 23%, according to Counterpoint. Why is this? Well, the Chinese phone makers, from Huawei and Honor, have picked up the slack, with more price-competitive models, though a lot of these phones are only sold in China, so a lot of all folding phones are just sold in China. Perhaps it's time for an update on the Chinese folding phone market, so let me know if that's something you would want. Other hardware changes to the Flip include a bigger battery and a better camera, but the spotlight was definitely on Galaxy AI, which, as with other phone models, gives Samsung users access to generative AI tools. These generative AI features allow Samsung users to use generative AI inside of notes, for example, to give it a prompt for a writing prompt, or to summarize web pages or emails, or also do some image editing inside of their Gallery app. New to the show, and a new feature to Galaxy AI, is something similar to Apple's Playgrounds or Microsoft's Paint's Image Creator, which allows you to sketch out an image on the phone and create a more complex image using generative AI.
These are locally run AI models, so the quality is not going to be as good as something that can be run on the cloud with a huge server, and you can see that from the demos, but it's interesting to see that all these companies are rushing to implement this feature into their phones.
The folding phones will be available starting at $1,100 for the Flip and $1,900 for the Fold, which is more or less $100 more than last year's model. Moving on, Samsung also had new watches on display. The Watch 7 is an incremental upgrade to the Watch 6, which was released last year, but the Watch 7 Ultra is placing itself as a competitor to Apple's top-of-the-line model, the Apple Watch Ultra. Apple is the market leader, and with high-end features like sleep apnea detection, health and fitness tests that you would normally have to go to a lab to obtain, Samsung is placing itself as a competitor to the Apple ultra high-end smartwatch. Alongside new earbuds, Samsung is also launching a new product category, which we've talked about during CES, so this is smart rings. These smart rings serve to bridge a gap that's left in smart watches and also smart devices. The big displays and powerful features that make it so easy and fun to use these watches means that they need a lot of battery, so you need to recharge them often, and for a lot of people that means charging them overnight. So you may not get sleep tracking data, or you may just take off the watch and forget about it while it's charging. Enter the smart ring, which only needs to deal with a few sensors and thus can last a few weeks on a charge. People who have been up close with the Galaxy Ring have said it's similar to other smart rings from companies like Aura or Ultrahuman, so it's slightly thicker than a regular ring, but sleek enough not to draw attention to itself. Smart rings have been a very small market so far, and so for a player as big as Samsung to enter it indicates that they think there's a lot of potential here. That wraps it up for this week's coverage of the Samsung Unpacked event. If you want more news coverage of tech events as they unfold, make sure you join us on TechAsia and leave a comment about which device you're most interested in. Until next time, take care.